Hello everyone, I am the F1 team and this is my review of the 2018 Japanese Grand Prix. Now, first of all, I do have one little apology to make, and that is that I didn't make a review for the Russian Grand Prix. And I'm really sorry about this, but this week I've had just so many events. It was my birthday this week, and I've had loads of stuff going on with that. So unfortunately, even though I was able to get the graphics done and I got my script ready, I just could not find the time to record, unfortunately. So, yeah, there isn't a Russian Grand Prix review, and I'm quite annoyed about that myself, but there is a Japanese Grand Prix review, so I hope you enjoyed this. So, there was lots of drama, and there was lots of rain in qualifying. The first part of drama was when Marcus Ericsson went off at the Dunlop curve, completely ran out of road, and yeah, there was nowhere else for him to go. That brought out the red flag immediately, no hesitation actually from Charlie Whiting. I thought it might have been able to just have yellow flags. In fact, no, thinking back on it, no. He was very, very close to the track, and if someone did hit him, then that would have caused big problems. So ignore what I just said. And so that was a lot of drama, and especially as that is what caused the rain to come when it did, in one sense, because if we hadn't have had the rain, or if we hadn't had the crash, when it happened, then the session might not have been pushed back, and the rain wouldn't have been as perfectly timed. So thanks, Marcus. And out of Q1 went both McLarens, and who's the other one? There was Sorokin went out, and Ericsson, I think. Yeah, he went out, obviously, because he crashed. And Nico Hülkenberg in the Renault, surprisingly, went out. Renault really not been showing much pace recently. Now, Lance Stroll managed to make it through. He's showing that it might not be as bad as we all think when he makes his expected move to Force India next year. That's what we're all hoping, at least. And then in Q2, Daniel Ricciardo suffered yet another engine problem. This has been virtually every race in this later part of the season, and I think he's just so unlucky, and it is quite ironic that he's actually moving to Renault next year, especially as I've just said recently, when they're having loads and loads of pace problems, especially around this sort of track where the engine is not as strong power-wise. So we'll have to see how that pans out. I'm really hoping it does pan out well for Daniel Ricciardo, because the last couple of years at Red Bull, other than a couple of bright moments like the win in China this year, it's just not been good enough really, and he's hoping for a fresh start in the Class B. Now, what I do just want to clarify before I move on to the next part of the video is that by Class B I mean the 7 teams after Mercedes, Red Bull and Ferrari. I think personally, this is going to be a little rant, just a warning, I think personally the gap is just far too big. I really do not like this, and you know exactly who the top 6 cars are going to be. You know exactly that Ricciardo, as well as he did drive, I think he did drive really well on that show later in the video, I think that we all knew that as long as he didn't suffer another engine problem or another problem of some sort, he would be able to make it into the top 6. Vettel, even when he went down to 19th, he was able to make it into the top 6 reasonably quickly, and I think that the gap that it is this season is just not good whatsoever, and the amount of cash that's given to these top teams, it's good because it's a reward, but on the other hand, there are teams like Force India that have just had to be bought out at the last hour, because they just don't have the money, and teams like McLaren and Williams are underperforming. Williams, they don't have as much money, but McLaren, with the best technology in Formula 1, no one really knows how they're managing to perform so badly. So yeah, I really do not like this Class B, and I'm referring it to that as almost sarcastically, but sadly it's almost not, because in all your reports nowadays, in everything, there will always be a part that says, and the best of the rest was, in this case, Sergio Perez, and the best of the rest was Nico Hülkenberg, Carlos Sainz, and it's just, we need a bit of difference, and that's what I'm hoping a couple of the new rules next year will bring, and that is my really big hope for 2021. Now, moving on to Q3, then one of the best Q3s that we have, in my lifetime, at least in the 9 years that I've been watching F1, one of the best Q3s that I have seen. We had rain sort of at the end of Q2, sort of between Q2 and Q3, which was interesting in itself, but Ferrari were the only ones that didn't manage to notice that the track had dried up, and it was a strategical gamble. But I saw a meme on the internet today, and it was just Mercedes' best team member, and it was a Ferrari chief strategist, and I think that just sums it up really. I'll try and find the meme and put it on screen now, but it was just so, oh yeah, the amount of strategical errors that Ferrari are making is just not good enough for a team of their calibre, of their quality, of the drivers' quality. And so that meant that they only had one lap after Hamilton had set his lap, Bottas had set his lap, Verstappen had set his lap, so they were already on the back foot, and they only had one lap to do it. Raikkonen did it. He was well off the pace, but due to the big gap between the Class A cars and the Class B cars, he was still a good second in front of the Force India, despite being 1.7 seconds off Lewis Hamilton. Vettel, he was on an alright lap, but then I think it was Paul di Resta who picked out first. He had a bit of a shocker over the second sector, and the cameras were immediately brought onto him, and he had run very, very wide at Spoon Curve. He'd messed up his lap. He was 4.4 seconds behind Lewis Hamilton, which in the event of it was actually enough to be behind all the Class B cars except Sergio Perez, who had done some sort of installation lap and then realised that he didn't have time to do a full lap, which was very clever of him. But so yeah, Vettel ended up qualifying 9th. That went to 8th because Ocon had a penalty for not slowing down enough under red flags in practice yesterday. So yeah, that was unfortunate for him. But other than that, it was a really, really poor qualifying session for Ferrari, starting 4th and 8th. And Mercedes 1-2 on the grid, set up surely a 1-2 tomorrow. Now all three of the top three got away cleanly, Raikkonen as well, but not so much. Vettel got a really, really good start himself from 8th place, and that just shows the gap between the Ferrari and cars like the Toro Rossos and the Haas, who he'd actually dispatched all three of by turn 3. And so we were coming towards the end of the first or the second lap, and Verstappen collided with Raikkonen. He'd locked up and then gone over the chicane. I think it was a racing incident. There was lots of different factors that could have decided it. He did get a penalty for it because there was a little bit of a swing, but you can't just expect him to brake in front of an oncoming pack of cars, and a driver like that to wait until the end of the pack just because he's locked up. I think that's completely unreasonable. So he did come on, and it was dangerous. But then again, Raikkonen should have known he was coming, so there's fors and against for that. But in the end, he did receive a 5-second penalty for his pit stop. In the event, Raikkonen did get a little bit of damage, and that meant that Vettel could overtake him. So Vettel was now up into 4th. But then straight after that, Kevin Magnussen sort of brake checked Charles Leclerc, gave himself a puncture, and that was a safety car. After the restart, Vettel has found his next target, and that is Max Verstappen. Going for the 3rd position, this would be really good at such an early stage in the race for Sebastian Vettel. Maybe the sort of title wasn't over after all, despite yet another costly mistake. And then he goes and makes another one. He goes up the inside of Verstappen at Spoon, a risky move in itself. Verstappen had left him enough space, but Vettel just wasn't able to pull it off. And he ended up hitting Verstappen. Verstappen ran wide, but amazingly picked up no damage other than going airborne for a split second. But Vettel was spun. He was sent right to the back of the pack, 11 places below where he started. And it was just really, it's even been a catalogue of errors, like Germany, Italy, in qualifying in Japan and in the race in Japan. And in my opinion, that is what has cost Sebastian Vettel the Formula 1 World Championship of 2018. Now we're getting towards the pit stop phase, and Ferrari made, guess what? Another strategical error. And they left Kimi Raikkonen out for way too long, as usual. It wasn't even to try and protect Vettel this time, they just left him out for longer, because why not? He lost the place to Daniel Ricciardo, who'd made an absolutely astounding charge from 15th on the grid to 4th. and it was a really good drive from Ricciardo, helped by the fact that it was all Class B cars that he was overtaking. But I think it was a really good drive from Daniel Ricciardo, and that is why Daniel Ricciardo deserves the first ever the F1 Team Driver of the Day. Yes, it's a new feature for this channel, and I don't know if he was the official driver of the day actually, but I think he should have been. It was such a really good drive, and yeah, I hope that he can sort of banish his woes of retirement once he gets to Renault. But obviously, being in the best of the rest pack, it is going to be difficult. But of a driver of his calibre, I think it's possible for him to get some podiums, and then Renault can really kick on. And especially in 2021, if they've got a good enough car then, and who knows what could happen. So I'm really excited, as I think you can probably tell, for that season. And yeah, good luck to Daniel Ricciardo next year. So in 5th place finished Kimi Raikkonen. It was not his fault after a strategical error, but he could have pushed a bit. He could have at least tried to try and get Ricciardo, but he just didn't seem interested. I'd have, as much as I like Kimi, I'd have liked if he didn't go to Sauber next year, given, I mean, I like Ericsson to stay in the sport. I don't know why they're sending Giovinazzi there just for Ferrari's free will, when Ericsson's doing a perfectly good job. I think Van Dorn could do a job there. I think Kvyat could have gone there, but no, they're keeping Kimi Raikkonen in the sport when he doesn't seem that interested anymore. In 4th place, it was Daniel Ricciardo, who we've already discussed had a really good drive. 3rd was Max Verstappen. He was really pressurising Bottas towards the end, but he just couldn't quite make the move stick. In 2nd was Valtteri Bottas. It was a good drive from the wingman. Sorry if anyone gets offended by that, but it's really what he's acting like now, isn't it? Hopefully next year we can play a bit less of a sporting role and try and go for the championship, but realistically I don't think he has title winning quality there, unfortunately. But 2 drivers who I think do have championship winning quality is George Russell and Esteban Ocon. Are they going to get a seat next year? No, because the F1 driving market's messed up. Anyway, I hope to cover that in a separate video. And in 1st place, it was Lewis Hamilton, who has just drove such an amazing season this year. He's going into the final 4 races of the season, 67 points ahead of Sebastian Vettel. Realistically, every Ferrari fan knows it's not going to happen. And Lewis Hamilton looks like, barring a very strange turn of events, he is going to be only the 3rd ever 5-time world champion, which is just an absolutely astounding feat. So in terms of upcoming videos, I have hopefully, fingers crossed, got the US Grand Prix review. Hopefully that's going to be coming out. I'd like to make a video on the Class A, Class B thing like we discussed briefly in today's video. I think that would be a really interesting video to make, but I don't think I'm going to be able to make the 3-car team video just because of time constraints. So the Class A, Class B video has taken precedence, and I'm really hoping that I can make that, but obviously it's just a case of whether it's possible with my other commitments and other events if I can make that. But I'm hopefully going to be able to get you those 2 videos soon, so stay tuned for them. If you did enjoy today's video, then please do hit the like button and comment your opinion on the race in the comment section. You can also subscribe to the channel if you did enjoy the video, and you can also get notifications where you'll be able to find when my new videos are, and you'll get alerts when they go up. You can also follow me on Instagram, that is at the F1 Team. We've had some really good support over there recently, so if we could continue that, that'd be great. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you in the next one.